Okay, so it is near Halloween, and I've been asked this question so many times. Have you shown a haunted house? My name's Derek Wagner.
I'm Mariana Wagner with the Artisan Group at Keller Williams, Premier Realty and Spooky.
Happy Halloween, folks. So, have I ever shown a haunted house? I'm going to say this first off. I don't really believe in this, like a lot of supernatural kind of stuff, but
you like the show Supernatural.
That is also true.
Okay.
That is also true. I have two stories about haunted houses, and Mariana also has her own story, and I'm going to go first. So my first one, I was showing a house, and this was during the kind of the housing crisis of '08. I think it was about 2010, and I had a client. His name's Benjamin. And I'm showing him some homes, and there was this really nice remodeled home downtown-ish. It's actually in a neighborhood called Nob Hill on a street called Bonfoy. And we were on our way to go look at this house, and I got a call from the listing agent. And the listing agent said she would be over there probably around the time that we were there, and not to worry about,
she just might show up. Yeah, she had something to do. Yeah.
So we were there and showing it, and this house was built in the early 1900s, and
which is actually a pretty common year built for downtown homes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm down there. We're showing it. It's gorgeous. It's a stunning remodel. Super beautiful. It was the nicest home we have seen the whole entire time we were looking at property. So I go in. We're showing it. Again, stunning. The basement was unfinished, which is odd because it was an actual basement. It was a nice basement, not like a rubble kind of foundation. It was a nice basement,
like a root cellar.
Yep, we're down there, and Benjamin was said, "Hey, I really like this property. Let's write an offer on it." So we were down in the basement, and I had already told him the listing agent may be coming over during the time of our showing. So we're downstairs in the basement, and we're chatting about the strategy on how we're going to write this offer. And what we're going to ask for, etc. We hear the front door open, and in walks somebody in high heels. It was clearly high heels. They're walking. Again, we're in an unfinished basement, so it's echoing. We both look at where the front door would have been. We were, again, in the basement. We're looking up, and we start whispering because we're talking about the strategy that we're going to write an offer on. So we're both
you don't want to show your cards to the listing agent.
Right, so we're figuring the listing agent is upstairs. And so we then go upstairs. We said, hey, why don't we just talk to her real quick, ask a couple of quick questions, and we'll be on our way. So we go upstairs. Nobody. I called the listing agent. She never showed up.
No.
And so we were up there. We looked around. We heard walking around. We heard the spinning of the high heels upstairs. I mean, we heard this. And when we figured out that nobody had been in the house, he said, I don't want the house anymore. It's clearly haunted. Yes. So that was my first one.
Yep. And we actually listed a house that was not haunted, but there was absolutely a ghost there. So I used to do a lot of the photos for our listings. And we listed this home. Gosh, what was it? It was over in the Vista Grand Village 7 area. And it was a tri-level. So a tri-level is where you walk into a main level, and there's generally like a living room and a kitchen and a dining room, and you can go up a few stairs, and there's bedrooms and a bathroom, and down, and there's like another living area, etc. Anyway, so I'm taking pictures of this house. Now, the people were selling this house. It was out of probate, yep. I think. It was just gotten out of probate. We're selling it for the family. And the last person to have lived there was the dad, the husband. He was the last one to have lived there. From my understanding, he didn't die in the house. Nobody had died in the house, but he was the last one to live there before he moved on to hospice care. Anyway, I'm on the main level taking photos, and I keep thinking I see something out of the corner of my eye, just like a movement. And I'm in there all by myself. There's nobody there. And so I'm taking, oh, what's going on? And I go up the stairs. I'm going into the master bedroom, and I keep seeing the this like shadow or this movement, and I'm like out of the corner of my eye, and every time I'd look, there wouldn't be anything there. So I'm in the master bedroom, and I'm about to take photos, and I was just like, I just put my camera down, and I'm like, listen, Because now I can see that there's something like just in the hallway outside the door, and I'm like, I'm not going to look at it, because if I look at it, it goes away. It's kind of like one of those particles, you know, that it only moves when you look at it. Right. Anyway, and I'm thinking, I go, okay. I go, sir, and I knew his name at the time, don't remember it now. I said, if this is you, this house, I understand this is where you lived. You were one of the first. You were the first owner of this house. You've lived here for many, many, many years. No one's going to want to buy the house if you're still hanging around. And we want to sell this home to a nice family who's going to love this home as much as you did. And you raised your kids there. Maybe somebody's going to come raise their kids here. But you really need to go. This house, you know, we're going to take great care of it. And the next people who buy it are going to buy or take great care of it. And poof, there was no more. For the whole rest of the time I was there, there was no more movement on the side. And I don't even believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. But I literally talked to and experienced a ghost. That's me. I'm confused. I'm a dichotomy in and of myself. But that was another experience we had. So that was what? That was also right around, no, that had to have been like 2005 maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago. But yeah, so that was my experience with the supernatural when it comes to homes. The home sold great, and nobody ever complained about it.
We probably should have charged more for him being there. Anyway.
But he wasn't anymore.
That's true. So he was an attachment at that point, or an inclusion.
He wasn't no, we didn't need to write an amend extend for that one.
Yeah. So my other one, I had a client named Jason. He's a firefighter, and we're showing homes, and also in a tri-level. And in the bottom level of the tri-level, there was a crawl space area. You can open up the door and you could look underneath the main living room area, and it had been slightly ajar. And we were there. We were looking at the property. He didn't like it that much, so it wasn't one that we were actually going to purchase. And this one was in a fountain area.
Was it?
And it wasn't even that old. I think it was like 60s or 70s that this house was built. And so that door was ajar, and we were in one of the bedrooms in the lower level where that door was ajar that goes underneath the crawl space, and we heard boom, it closed. So we went out and we're like, that's really weird, it just closed. I'm thinking maybe like there was a draft or something that sucked it closed or something.
Yeah, like when certain doors and windows are open and closed at the same time, things move.
Yeah. And so we were chatting. That was, down there we're chatting, and then all of a sudden we heard the loudest bang upstairs. One of the doors had slammed shut, so loud. And so we looked. He turned pale white, and I'm pretty sure I did, but I watched him turn pale white. I ran upstairs, and he ran outside, and I ran upstairs and looked at every single door was still open. Every single door. Not one door had been closed. And I came out, and he was, I'm getting goosebumps from him too. He was goosebumped out, and he was like, never going in that house again. And
what if it was on fire?
Yeah, I don't think he would care. Anyway, those are our 3 haunted house stories.
Oh, and I'm sure we'll have more to come, because it's in the world of real estate. It's not if you run into a house that's haunted, it's
or a naked person or a dead body. One of the 3.
Yeah, the trifecta.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks a bunch.
Happy
feel
Halloween.
free to share this video, and of course, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.